Let's talk about 15 ways to notice that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. This is actually a light from Uline. Kind of looks like a tunnel. Actually had a Christmas sweater on it. Probably shouldn't admit that, but it's weird. It's my bedside light in case the power goes out. Not that, I guess the power does go out once in a while, but not very often. So I have this cute little lamp plug for Uline. Got it Uline when I used to buy stuff like that. I don't buy much stuff like that anymore. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's obviously already in today. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Supersize Your Business. And every day we like to talk about an idiom. What does it mean? Where did it come from? How could you use it in your business to grow and build your business? Because that's what we're here for, to supersize and build and grow our business. How can you use that? So today I'm going to share 15 ways. But first, let's talk a little bit about where did this idiom come from and what does it mean? It, of course, means that there's hope. It's a metaphor for hope that means that any situation, it might have been bad for a really long time. Think of COVID-19. Might have been bad for a really long time, but there's signs that the long, difficult struggle is soon to be over or will someday be over. Now, I think with COVID-19, that's a great example because we've all simultaneously lived through all of the ramifications and the drama and trauma that's been associated with this pandemic. And I don't know about you, but I was traveling around recently and I realized, actually it was this past spring, it seems like recently, with the lack of travel that we did last year, I saw that there is hope in America. There is nothing like what the media and politicians are portraying going on in America. Maybe in the inner cities because I didn't go to them, but in regular, normal America, all is well, and people are thinking for themselves and they are maintaining their sanity. So to me, that was a clear sign that COVID is not going to negatively impact America forever. The nonsense that's going on in our country will cease to exist, and the light will shine again at the end of this tunnel, or whatever tunnel you might be facing. Maybe you've got a health challenge. Maybe you've had a huge challenge with your business during COVID-19. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. This idiom has been popular. It was in a lot of different publications in the late 1880s. But John F. Kennedy, our president, John F. Kennedy, in the mid-1960s, really popularized the saying when he used it in reference to Vietnam and what was going on there. Now, what are some of these 15 ways that we can use to make sure that we notice, make sure we see, make sure we look for the light at the end of the tunnel and not that it's an oncoming train? Because sometimes that light at the end of the tunnel can indeed be another car or an oncoming train. We want to make sure that we're noticing what's really going on. We have to pay attention or we can get splatted on the side of the road just like all the roadkill you see when you're traveling around the country. So this is kind of broken down into two different methods, but like any other process or system, you can mix it up, make it your own, and you do the things that work for you and leave the things that don't work for you aside. But I still challenge you to try the things that you've maybe tried in the past and they didn't really work effectively, or that you've never tried because of usually we don't try things because we're afraid at some level to try them, or we just have a bunch of beliefs that tell us they won't work for us. So what is one of the things that we can do? We can stay connected. Stay connected to people that we admire and that we enjoy being around and that make us feel good. If you hang around negative people when you're struggling, guess what? You're going to struggle even more because their energy is going to bring you down. So stay connected with people that are positive, optimistic, and help you move in the direction you want to go. Number 2, engage in therapy. Now this is an interesting one. People have strong beliefs about therapy, either pro, con, or neutral. I am absolutely positively neutral on therapy. Never been to therapy. Probably should have gone a couple of times in my life, I'll admit it, but I haven't. Dealt with the trauma, figured it out, had, again, stayed connected with people that empowered and helped me through different challenges that I've had in my life. Number 3, find solutions. Focus on solutions. I talk about this a lot, especially since COVID started, and even before, but especially since COVID began. We have to get out of problem mode, out of blaming, doubting, worrying, and fear, and into solutions and possibilities as quickly as we possibly can. Number 4, make plans for the life that you want to have, that you want to live, the business you want to have, the business you want to create, that you are creating. Make plans for that and continually be moving toward that instead of focusing on the situation as it's been in the past, because we can't change the past, not any of us. No magic wands here, although I do have a magic wand here. And continue to envision what you want your future to be like. Number 6, be optimistic. Again, the energy is positive and negative, and positive energy will get you much further. It's interesting. There's a survey done about entrepreneurs and just people in general, but comparing entrepreneurs and business owners to the rest of the population. And they found that the majority of the population, like 97% of the population, is more likely to react due to pain or negative things and change and take action than to positive change. It's just the opposite for entrepreneurs, business owners, people that have, are leaders, have the exact opposite approach. They move toward and are motivated by positive things and things that they will gain. And it's really interesting because the 3% that are motivated by gain and positive things think that everybody's motivated by that, and it's just not true. It's just the opposite. So be optimistic. I'm on that 3% optimistic. I say we always get further, we always feel better, we always make the world a better place by being optimistic. Number 7, take breaks. Remember to take breaks from what you're doing. A lot of people, a lot of the business owners I've worked with over the last year and a half, or I guess it's going on 2 years now, have been really, really overwhelmed, because in addition to running their businesses and changing their businesses up and running them from home and finding online ways to continue to do their business and creative ways to continue to create sales and income and serve their customers, they're also at home with their significant others, or they have been at home for large quantities of time with their significant others, or homeschooling their kids, or with parents that they weren't able to place in assisted living due to the pandemic. All different situations, of course, but you have to remember to take breaks from that. Take breaks from the everyday, all-out stress and the normalcy that the new normal, and find ways to give yourself a break. Just step outside, grab a cup of coffee, sit in the sunshine, let the sunshine on your face, and just breathe for the 5 minutes that you take to drink a cup of coffee. Find ways that work for you. Read, listen to things that make you feel good, stuff like that. Whatever works for you. I'm an avid believer in bubble baths. Number 8, this one, they say fake it, and like the saying fake it till you make it, which I do not agree with. What we want to do, instead of faking it, we want to positively envision our future. We want to presuppose, we want to pre-frame, we want to prophesize and visualize our future in a positive way and see things working out for our business and working out for us. So that's kind of one method. Again, you can mix all these things up, which is why I say 15 ways to notice if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So another method is to accept the present situation. If we deny and pretend that what's going on isn't going on, and a lot of people did that, don't get me wrong. I talked to hundreds of people literally in the beginning of the pandemic and throughout the pandemic that were in absolute positive denial. And, yeah, this is just going to be a short period of time. Everything's going to go back to normal, and I can get back to business as usual, just the way I've always done it. And I, would try to share my perspective on that and shake my head and say, okie dokie. And some of those businesses survived. Many of them didn't survive, because if we don't accept the present situation, it is what it is. If we don't accept that, we're not willing to look at what we need to do in order to have our businesses survive and thrive in that situation. That's true of anything, by the way. Whenever we want to make a change, or are looking to make a change, or looking to create anything in the world, we have to know where we are first and know where we want to be, so we identify that gap, and then we go about filling in that gap to get from where we are to where we want to be. So accept the present situation. It doesn't matter how it got to be that way or why it is that way. A lot of people have spent a lot of time and energy wondering why and researching and trying to understand. The truth is, we will maybe never know all of the why things happened. And we can make assumptions, but we don't know, because we weren't involved in that aspect of the whole pandemic. So we might as well just accept what is right now, accept what is affecting our business, and then determine what we're going to do about it. Number 2, control what you can control. I guess this would be number 10. Control what you can control. That's what we always have to do, right? There are so many more things outside of our control than inside of our control. But you know what? The only thing that really counts is what we can control, and that is ourselves, our reaction to things, our choices, and our decisions with respect to what the current situation is and what we want our situation to be. Because all of us want different things. We all want different things for our businesses in different situations. Number 11, realize suffering is optional. This is actually one of my favorite things because, you know, I'm not going to lie. In the past, I chose to suffer sometimes, mainly because I didn't know that I didn't have to suffer. I thought certain things about business and about life just were expected to be a challenge and were expected to be hard, and you had to like suffer your way through it, and you just had to fight and work and grind your way through it. And the truth is, the older I get, the more I realize suffering is absolutely positively a choice. It's optional. I can do something hard and suffer through it and struggle my way through it, or I can do something hard and I can actually learn from and enjoy and get to know more about myself and my business by experiencing it in seeing what I learned from it instead of suffering through it. So I'd love to know people's thoughts about suffering. Suffering is one of those things that I used to do it. I totally did. I totally used to suffer through stress and challenges. And then about 11 years ago, I realized that it's just optional. I can choose to suffer or I can choose to learn. I can choose to sacrifice. Sacrifice is another one of those. Sacrificing is absolutely positively optional. If I'm making a choice, then I'm not sacrificing anything. I'm doing what's right for me, and that means I'm not sacrificing. I think we get that from business, and I even remember learning in college opportunity costs, and if you don't do this option, these are all the things you might be losing. Well, you never took that opportunity, so you never really lost anything. But if we look at things from the loss and the lack and scarcity point of view, we could think that we're losing things. It's like the whole FOMO, fear of missing out. Another thing I don't agree with. It's like if I'm making a choice, I don't need to have a fear of missing out. I'm doing what's right for me. And we each need to remember to do what's right for us and our business. And all the other stuff, if it were right for us, we'd be saying yes to it. If it's not right for our business, it's absolutely imperative that we say no to it. So we don't waste our time and our energy and our resources. I lost count. I'm going to say probably number 12. Use this time to learn more about something that you're curious about, something that can help your business. Learn more about yourself. I am doing an annual challenge this year to do one thing every day that centers me, to get to know myself better throughout this downtime. It's not downtime for a lot of us, but a time where we actually have more time on our hands. I don't know if you noticed, but if you go around during COVID, how amazing people's yards looked, how amazing people's homes look, because they've had the time and energy to do the projects that they've had on their list for maybe decades that they've never had the time or energy to get to because they've been exhausted running through their normal life. So there's an upside in and of itself, is use the time to learn more about yourself, more about your business, to improve your business, to get more creative, to figure out solutions that you might not have ever thought of. Number 13, I think, practice compassion. Be compassionate toward yourself and toward others, especially toward the people that are part of your organization. Understand and be empathetic about their circumstances and realize that everybody's life has changed, and be a part of that solution, not add more stress or more drama or more trauma to them. Number 14, be grateful. Be grateful for what's working. Be grateful for what is. I am grateful that I'm here and I'm healthy and my business is going strong, and that no one in my family has died of COVID. Several people have had COVID, but they've had very mild cases. My son had COVID and he didn't even know he had it, but his roommate had it, and they went and got checked, and she got sick and he didn't. So it was like, okay, interesting. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of the opportunities that COVID has opened up for me and other business owners as well. And the challenge to get creative, to have fun with our businesses again, to get passionate about them, and really focus on what makes a difference in other people's lives. And finally, number 15, laugh and have some fun. I don't know about you, but I think next year I almost want to do fun again. Last year, my annual challenge with my granddaughter, who I was hanging out with like many other people during the pandemic months, until she started school, and she was one of the fortunate ones here in Wisconsin that actually went to school. They wore masks. Little kindergartners in masks still is mind-boggling to me, but they wore masks all day in school, and we were doing one fun thing every day last year. That was my annual challenge, to do one fun thing every day, because I wanted more fun in my life in 2020, long before I knew that we were going to have a pandemic. Began that on January 1st of 2020, and we did that all year last year. And so now I'm kind of feeling like we need some more fun in our lives again. At least I do. So maybe that'll be a little bit of a focus. My challenge next year will not be to do one fun thing every day. I've already got my challenge, I think, mapped out. It's really different this year, and I'm excited about that. So how do you see the light? How do you look for the light at the end of the tunnel? What are you doing in your business, and maybe even in your life, that you can share in the comments below, to see that light, to maintain hope and optimism about the future of your business, whether it's, got anything to do with COVID or not? Love to hear those things. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom, what it means, where it came from, and how you might apply it to your business right now. Have an amazing day.